You know that moment you walk into a massive sports bar or like a modern corporate lobby, and there's just this huge wall of dozens of
It's
TVs,
perfectly synchronized.
right? Never missing a single frame of the game. And I mean, you'd expect there to be some kind of magic making that happen, or at least a back room full of panicked technicians tripping over miles of tangled cables.
Yeah, you really would.
But today, our mission for this deep dive is to decode the actual hidden brain behind those massive video networks. We are looking at a highly technical product page from HDTV Supply for a device called the Vitec, which was formerly Exterity, the AVSRV-C1565.
It's basically the invisible infrastructure doing all the heavy lifting for those flawless video displays. And looking at how it's built tells us a lot about the extreme demands of live audiovisual setups.
Okay, let's unpack this. Physically, this thing is actually pretty unassuming. It's a compact, one-use standard 19-inch rack-mountable chassis.
Which just means it fits nicely into a standard server closet.
Exactly. And it packs 16 terabytes of RAID 10 storage, though it also comes in 4, 8, and 24 terabyte versions. Plus, it has your standard RJ45 serial USB and VGA connections.
And in this context, that RAID 10 setup isn't just some random spec on a page. It means the server is actively mirroring your data.
Like a real-time backup.
Precisely. If a hard drive physically dies right in the middle of a massive live broadcast, the screens never go black.
Wow, so it's built entirely for worst-case scenarios. I mean, you've got dual redundant power supplies, 4 1-gigabit ports, the works. But even with all that fortification, it's only pulling a maximum of 150 watts.
Yeah, it's super efficient.
Right, but here's my pushback. If it's just a storage drive and some ports running on a max of 150 watts, why is it considered an enterprise-class platform? My home PC uses way more power than that.
Well, what's fascinating here is this box is strictly a hardware shell for IPTV management. It physically cannot function out of the box.
Really, it does nothing.
Literally nothing. It requires you to buy separate software modules, like the M805 or the M7205, just to make it manage your video streams.
Oh, wow.
And it goes even further. You have to select and pay for specific bandwidth options, too. You choose between 110, 220, or 550 megabits per second.
So you are buying the exact capacity you need to perform. Nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly. It perfectly illustrates how enterprise AV compartmentalizes hardware and software. I mean, in consumer tech, an all-in-one device is convenient. But in an enterprise setting, if your streaming software crashes during the Super Bowl, you don't want to rip out a $10,000 hardware box.
That makes total sense. You want modularity so you can just swap and upgrade the software instantly.
Without ever touching the physical server.
So this chassis is basically an expensive, bulletproof, empty stage, and the separate software modules are the actual performers you have to hire to put on the show.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You'd think buyers dropping serious cash on an enterprise server, only to find out they have to pay extra for basic software licenses and bandwidth limits, would be absolutely furious in the review section.
Yeah, I really would think so.
But the customer reviews on this product page are hilariously pragmatic. I mean, you have a guy named John M. who left a 5-star review stating the staff was, quote, less than friendly, but answered my question.
That's amazing.
Right. And then Steve J. leaves a 5-star review, but he is actually praising a completely different product. He's talking about a Wolfpack matrix switcher.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it reveals a lot about the B2B or business-to-business buyer mindset. The priorities in the high-stakes AV world are just completely inverted compared to buying consumer electronics.
So if I'm setting up a stadium, I probably don't care if the sales rep asks how my day is going. I just need to know the bandwidth specs won't fail me on opening day.
That is the exact calculus happening here. The stress of live AV installations is just immense. If you are installing a system that controls 100 screens for a global corporate broadcast, warm customer service is completely irrelevant.
You just need raw technical accuracy.
Right. If a vendor is gruff, but gives you the precise specifications and modular software licenses you need to make the network run flawlessly, well, that is a 5-star interaction.
The margin for error is just 0. So what does this all mean? Basically, behind every wall of seamlessly synchronized TVs lies the strictly utilitarian world of hardware like the Vitec C1565.
Yeah, it's designed to sit in a dark rack somewhere, actively mirroring data and running highly specific software so the front-of-house experience is perfect.
It's all about absolute control and reliability when the stakes are highest, which leaves you with something to think about the next time you're staring at one of those massive video walls.
Yeah.
In a modern tech landscape that is rapidly rushing toward cloud-based everything, why do you think physical on-site hardware boxes with modular software licenses still completely dominate the professional AV industry?